Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are once again watching Astroteric TV. I'll be your one and only host, the Astro Guru. And it wouldn't be Astroteric TV without the gra. Now, with that being said, we are going to be changing the intro. Yeah, I know. It kind of messed me up too. But however, you know, Astroteric is all about innovation. And the people in the um what department is that back there? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the people in the graphics department, they've been hard at work this week and this weekend. So they've come up with some new logos. They've come up with some intro songs, jingles, if you will. They've come up with quite a few things for us to kind of jazz the uh, Astroteric brand up a little bit. So we definitely will be doing that. And if you can, there's this app called Rap Fame, and there's another one called Rap Chat. I've been just freestyling, kind of passing the time by, dropping little songs and hooks and jingles, if you will. Like yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately, so I've been having a lot of little fun and just trying to keep the music high vibrational yet entertaining as well, but also don't just go making the worst music. I'm not saying you got to be like Michael Jackson or Prince, but you want to kind of make music of a certain kind of quality. You want it to at least pass the bar. If you want to go 1 through 10, you want your songs to hit at least like a 6. If you don't know me from a can of paint and I do good, then maybe I can get better, right? Exactly. But that is neither here nor there. So had to pause for a moment. All right, now, um, what are we here today for? Okay, there we go. I'm back. Now, I wasn't gonna do a topic today. I wasn't even gonna do an episode. As you all know, I have Astroteric TV 2, which is the fitness channel. Astroteric Fitness. And then I also have the Ghetto Yet Gourmet, which I'm sure the name will be changed later down the line. But, the hardest step is the first one. So, yeah, we got Ghetto Yet Gourmet, and I've been over there making, chicken, fried Oreos, and things like that. So, keep myself busy. Now, aside from that, as I was saying, today's topic is the 3 ways a man's love dies. Yes, you heard that correctly. Now, as we all know, men, women, human beings are capable of great love, just as animals and mammals, angels, gods, things like that, whatnot. So, human beings being capable of great love, and being in a world where there's some odd billion people, we'll say that, because I know I've definitely not counted each and every person outside. So, now, you got some odd billion people and whatnot. Earth's been around for however many years, right? Now, we're not being technical right now. We're just laying the groundwork. So you've got these umpteen thousand years versus or should I say, divided by however many billions of people that we got walking this earth right now, right? Now, that kind of gets your brain going to where the smallest understanding. Like, you really don't even have to compute for this. Like, if man has been around on this earth for some thousands of years, then I'm sure man is capable of loving something. Correct? All right, understood. Now, if you're a man and you show love, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a woman and a man has shown you love, you know what I'm talking about. So, men capable, great love. Now, the same way that you're capable of great love is the same way that you can be capable of great, I guess we'll say, hate. Just since it's the opposite of love. All right, now, that creates a spectrum. So, we'll just use these as props. You got love here. You got hate here. Now, at some point in time, man reached the middle. Now, remember, this is 3 ways that a man's love dies. So, option A, he kills his own love. Now, why would a man kill his own love? Well, simply because it's a choice. Some men are highly sensitive and they wish to be tougher. So they'll put on the tough exterior and act like they don't care about, this, that, and the third and whatnot. But deep on the inside, they still do care. They still are capable of great love. However, they've just taken an stoic approach to life. So, he got the poker face on. You might not be able to tell if he loves you, this, that, and the third, but he does love you, right? He does love you. Now, this is also not, the thing is, a man who loves you but doesn't know how to express his love correctly or doesn't understand how you would like him to express his love, he'll be more reserved in his love. And then you might not be able to tell that, he loves you. Or maybe him saying, I love you is just simply enough for him. So he's not, like doing the above and beyond to let you know that he loves you. Now, side note, you can only love someone with as much capacity as you love yourself with. And as well, little PS, if I love myself at the level of an 8, the level that I show you is probably not going to be past that. And if it is, I would be doing that unconsciously out of, admiration and being impressed by you, being head over heels. And that's when people say, like, oh, you stupid. Or, you too nice. Because basically you're doing more for this person than you do for yourself. Like, you're losing it. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, now, man kills his own love. Now, there's various reasons for a man to kill his own love, but I'll just bring up what would probably be the main one. He showed love and was probably too loving in situations or in instances where he may have should have taken the stoic approach, the poker face, the you can't read me. Now, because he didn't do it at the time that he felt like he was supposed to, which it could have just been 2-3 times, where it may have really mattered for him to, stand his ground and not be a pushover, right? Now, instead of forgiving himself and moving forward with a more structured approach to life, or a more logical, more analytic approach, what happens is he takes his anger out on himself and becomes pretty much everything that he wasn't. So every part of him that he feels like is a flaw, he will attack it on his own because obviously it was attacked outside of him. It was attacked externally. So this is like when you see people when you see men that fight all the time, either they were championed because they knew how to fight, or they won a few fights and whatnot. People noticed they could fight and kept cheering them on to fight. So now you don't have the space to show love because you're always being destructive. You're always beating something up, and you're getting praised for how you beat stuff up. So bro, pull up. I got $100. You beating them up like that's it. You pulling up. You doing what you're doing. Understood. So that's a man killing his own love, right? So now later in life, you gotta like the time that you didn't take to show love at one point in time. That's what we call it, quality time. Not in spending time, because paying like attention is the greatest thing that you can pay, which is spend. So you're spending time, you're paying attention to a person, things like that. All right, now. Next, what happens is, like I said, man killing his own love. Probably wanted to be tougher. Probably was a situation where he needed to be more structured, more manly, and whatnot. And he didn't do that. So now, out of anger, he adds that to his demeanor as a person. That becomes part of his personality. So I wasn't, tough when I was younger, and I got picked on. You can be like me. I didn't get like picked on like bad, but I got picked on. I definitely got picked on. But all right, so you get picked on. I think anyway, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so you get picked on, right? Sometimes it's not even that you're getting picked on. You're just getting ridiculed. People are making jokes. Fun is being had. But there's truth in them jokes. And that shit don't feel good on the inside. But like, yeah, you smell like piss. You gonna be like, oh, mom, you're gonna be self-conscious. You might be a little embarrassed. Ain't no telling. Maybe you had that shirt on yesterday. Maybe you got a little sweat mildew or something like that. Things like that happen. Things like that. I know for a fact, if 100 people see this video, 32 of them done went inside the dirty clothes and got a t-shirt before. You had to probably run to the store or something. Maybe it was laundry day. There's various reasons for these things, but they happen. So, now, number 2. Once again, back to the spectrum. Either, however you like it to be said. If not him killing his own love, feeling like I don't need this, like no emotions, Jim Jones. Put my emotions aside, because they could never take me alive, as part of his, tough exterior. Then what surely 33% out of 100 happened. He was shown a lot of love at one point in time. Now, matter of fact, slash that. We're going to go to another. This one is a little more intricate, so I'll bounce back to the last one. All right. The second way a man's love dies is if something that he loves, i.e. a person, because if a man shows love to a job, they may not show him the same love back, but he'll be reciprocated. If a man shows love to a dog, that dog will be loyal to him and love him endlessly. If a man shows love to, animal, mammal, maybe even an insect, maybe even down to an insect. All these things reciprocate love. But however, I've got this saying. The people you love the most are the hardest people to prove it to. I could go outside, make somebody I never met before believe that I love them in 10 minutes. They might think it's weird, they might think it's odd, but they'll believe it. I can't make family members that I've been knowing for my whole life like me, respect me. Like, so you see, it's something to that. And what it is, once again, we go to it. So, man shows unconditional love to something. It could be your mom, it could be your sister, it could be your brother, it could be your uncle, it could be your father, it could be your grandma, it could be any type of family member. You see their flaws, but yet you ignore them. Because who doesn't have flaws? We all have flaws, right? We're all just trying to figure it out. So, you see their flaws, and you love them anyway. They see your flaws, and zoom in on them. So, with that being said, what now happens is, man is, you're happy to love this. You're happy to brag about it, tell people about it. After a certain level of disrespect, or after so much disrespect, man says, you know what? I have to change the dynamic between me and that. Whatever that is. Whoever that is. Job, So, in changing of this dynamic, man decides to be more stern. Stiff arm. I gotta be a little more, back up. Like, I was doing everything for you, but now I can't do that. In hopes that if I was giving you all of this, like it's like a seesaw. If I was giving you all this love and it made you go down, you don't just get off the seesaw and leave me up here like with nobody to love. Like, no, you bounce up and you feel me? We balance out, things like that. So by me taking my love back, like, you would think that like the other party would notice, like, hey, there's a certain level of like love missing, and the person that gave it to us or that gives it to us, they're not acting the same. Okay, now let's check in, have a meeting, fix problem, balances out. Now, if that doesn't happen, then what does happen is man shows love to something in hopes that it would love him back. It doesn't love him back. It gives him every reason of why he either doesn't deserve love, or it gives him every reason why that's like, that's small potatoes. What you talking about? This is what you talking about? Like, this is real world going on. You feel like I don't love you? Because now his feelings is being pushed aside, which is okay, right? He's a man, right? Whatever. So now his feelings get pushed aside. I don't care who you are on this planet. I don't care what you are on this planet. Nothing, nobody, and no one likes to be dismissed. So if I tell you, hey, every time you say the word, what, my head start pounding. That's a time for you to say, why your head doing that? Not to say, what? Now I see how out of tune you are. Like, you're not in tune at all. So you're never going to grasp the concept of my feelings not being validated or needing validation or confirmation or emotional intelligence. You're never going to grasp that concept because your brain isn't even computing on that level. Like, it's like trying to lift the toilet bowl with like maybe that's a bad example. No, we're going to go with that. We're going to go right with that. It's like you trying to lift the toilet bowl with no arms. You don't have what it takes to lift the toilet bowl. You understand? You got to find a whole new way about it. A roundabout way. Meaning, you got to find some type of tool. If not some type of tool, you got to call some assistance. But you definitely not going to take your hand and lift that toilet bowl if you don't have hands. And talking to someone who does not have emotional intelligence and being empathic is just like that. Because you're trying to get them to understand a concept that is a foreign language to them. completely foreign. They are thinking about things that you can see, touch, feel, smell. You are talking about the intangibles. The intangibles. So you have to understand and leave people who are not empaths and things like that. You gotta get out your feelings. Because if I'm in a room full of people with no feelings and I got feelings, oh man, you better believe I'm gonna be feeling everything for every person in there, and I'm gonna feel responsible for every feeling that they don't have. Not responsible for the feelings that they do have. I'm gonna feel responsible for the feelings that they don't have. Let that sink in. Now, first way, man kills his own love. Second way, something a man's love kills the love in him by, of course, not loving him back. And that'll make him scared to be like, love again. That's with anybody though, right? So, but with men, it's a little different because, especially if you grow up under the guise of your mom, and your mom is like, for me, she could be a Hellenistic woman. That'll be what you'll reflect, or that'll be one of your that'll be either A, say like what you want, so now you're like happily dating unhealthy people, or it'll be what you don't want, which opposites attract and like attracts like. So you coming from this, meaning you're of it, and not wanting it is like bringing it to you. So now you got to find a way to overcome the people that you don't want, which is like you got to change your vibration. You got to go and, expand your horizons so that you can open up the door for somebody else to come in versus what you're just regularly used to or scared of, in which you got to get over the fear. So you might have to date somebody like that so you can understand them, learn them, and maybe take the knowledge back and go fix your Hellenistic mom. Like, now, the third way a man's love dies. In this case, it doesn't die. It was never awakened. He was never awakened to love in this case. It's more so dormant. And simple and plain, it's exactly that. It's dormant love. If you come from a background where love wasn't shown much or love wasn't talked about, everybody just went about the daily hustle and bustle of life, then you may be someone who's more work oriented than, we'll say, love oriented. Because you can be a family man and still not be loving. But yeah, that definitely happens. You may become more work oriented because maybe your upbringing was built off of successes. It was about who brought the most money home. Maybe, another family was about accomplishments. It might not have been about money. It might have been about who got a master's degree. It might have been about who got more stamps on their passport, things like that. So in other homes, of course, the love aspect is there. Like the person who in the home who actually shows more restraint when it comes to being angry and whatnot, and the person that, which turned in 9 times out of 10 the same person, but the person who, of course, shows restraint when it's time to, be angry, mad, and that same person being the person that probably is always there to help people, they get a lot of praise. Like they'll get, they might not be the smartest person, but the little bit that they do ask for, the little bit of help that they need, they pretty much get, because the loving home feels like they're deserving. The money home might feel like, oh, well, you don't, maybe you're not in a position to get no type of, like, you're not bringing the bag that we bringing in, which is probably why the person is like, in the position that they probably in. Bro, not too smart. He don't really know what to do. At least give him credit for knowing what not to do, because If he alive and on the streets every day, but he ain't going to jail back and forth, at least he just staying out of trouble. Like, and that deserves some credit too. Staying out of trouble deserves credit. So, yeah, that's pretty much how that happens. The man kills his own love. Something that he loved kills the love inside of him. And the love was just never awakened. And by the time, sometimes it wakes up, you Lou Rawls. Not saying I don't know Lou Rawls personally. Rest in peace to him. But I see trees of green. Yeah, what a beautiful world. My boy was a little, feel me? He was no spring chicken when he recorded that song. But the song is from a loving place. And maybe, just maybe, hypothetically speaking, just maybe, he'll, got to a point in his life where he had awakened to all the beautiful things that he probably never paid attention to before. For me, sometimes, a lot of times, for me, it's just the breeze going by, me hearing the rustling of the leaves and things, like me hearing leaves blow down the street during fall, like right now, like sitting here with no TV on, like I'm just like, man, that's beautiful. I love that. The pitter patter of the rain, of the rain on my window pane. Or like when that first couple of raindrops hit the hood of the car. It's something about that. It's just, I love it. I don't know why. But I'm not questioning it because it's love. And who questions love? Love is a good thing. Love is to be had. Love is to be given. Like, so yeah. Love is to be spread. So it's like, yeah, if you love it, just love it. You don't gotta really react how you want it to react. You don't have to respond how you want it to respond. You don't have to do what you want it to do. You don't have to control it. Think of all the other things that you love that you don't control. Literally. Like, you don't control them. You can love chicken tenders. You're not gonna love every chicken tender that you ever eat. You got no control over that. But it's not going to stop you from eating chicken tenders. It's not going to stop you from loving them either. Whole situation bogus, if you ask me. I think it's elementary. But that's it. Another episode of Esoteric TV down. Till next time, boys and gals. I shall see you.